Hello everyone, this is the third lab for the inter-VLAN communication using the SVI on the layer 3 switch. Okay, in the last lab we configured the two VLANs and enabled the inter-VLAN communication by configuring the SVI interface for the VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, and we proved that it worked. Now we want to connect this switch to this switch. For this, we need first connect them. I will connect this with the Gig Ethernet 01 port to this switch with same port number, Gig Ethernet 01. Okay, once I did that, and you can see, let me move this a little bit here so you can see, move it a bit so you can see when I want to see the port number, you can see which will be FA02. This one is FA01, okay? Good, so first thing we need to create a trunk port for this link. Okay, cool, let's do it. Enable. Okay, this is the first switch connected to the VLAN 10 and 20. We need first go to the configuration mode, configure terminal. Okay, now we go to the Gig Ethernet 0/1 port, and a key step here is to allow the encapsulation with .1 kill by this command. And this will allow us to encapsulate the frame in 802.1 kill. Then we need to do the switch port mode trunk to change the port to be a trunk port mode. Okay. After this, we must remember to choose which VLAN can be on this trunk port. So we need tap switch port, SW for switch port, trunk, allowed VLAN. We want to use VLAN 100 on this trunk port. Okay, so we want to see what happened here, so we do show interfaces trunk, and we can see the Gig Ethernet 0/1, which we just created as a trunk, is a trunk port. and encapsulation is 802.1 kilo standard. What is allowed on this trunk is VLAN 100. I will further explain this later. And 100 spanning tree. Yeah, okay, good. This is fine. If we do show F-based interface. Okay, so you can see for this switch, gig01 is connected and the trunk. Gig02 is not connected. Not connected because we didn't use that. Cool, that's okay now. Now, a very important step is to create a peering. It's a peering SVI here. So we do this by type interface VLAN 100. We create a VLAN 100 interface, and we need to assign IP address here for this interface. IP address 10.0.0.1 and mask is this 252. Okay, we choose this IP address because that will be the int switch gateway address for the other switch to route the traffic to this switch. Let's say what happened if we do to show IP interface brief. We can see here, that's the most interesting thing. We already know and set up the VLAN 10 and the VLAN 20 with the 192.168.10.1 and 20.1 IP address, and we just did in this lab, we set VLAN 100 as IP address 10.0.0.1, and it is up. Okay, so now we configured everything for the switch here. We need to go to the other switch here to configure it. Okay, so to save time, we choose just no for this option and enable to show this is a new switch. Show IP route. It's empty. There's no IP route. Okay, in this switch, we need to do the following. Config terminal. First go to configuration mode. We need to first create VLAN 30. Int VLAN. We first create VLAN 100 for the transit VLAN or the peer VLAN between two switches. This will, and let me see if yeah, okay. So I use the same command, but just change this address to be .2, the same subnet mask. Okay, so, and now because this switch has the gig Ethernet 0/1 connected to the other switch, we need to configure that as a trunk port. So now we need to try to set encapsulation to be .1K. In the modern switch, you may not need that, but it's safe to do it anyway. So now we change this to be the mode track. Okay, cool. So now this gig Ethernet 0/1 is also a trunk mode. You can, to confirm what we did, you can do show IP int face. We want to see what int face is created here. We can see VLAN 100, the address is 10.0.0.2. It's on. We need also create the VLAN 30. VLAN 30. And we need to add VLAN 30 IP address. In interface VLAN 30. And I just copy this command because this is 30.0 for VLAN 30. Okay, we do now shut down to let it on. Okay, cool. We had added VLAN 30. Now what we need to do is look this. We haven't assigned the port connected to the device FA0/1 and FA0/2. So we need to do it. We just do this int FA0/1 switch mode, switch port mode access. We do a access VLAN 30 because it's VLAN 30. We need to do it again for port 2. Okay, now I think, how do you think? Do you think we can talk between VLAN 10 and VLAN 30? And let's say we need, let's go to this device to say 1 second. Let's first try. So we pin 192.168.10.2 to see if it works. It will not work as expected. The reason is we haven't enabled IP routing, if you remember. So here, if we do show IP root, it's empty, there's no root here. So we need just tap this magic command IP routing, which will enable the routing engine to be on for this switch. Now compare what happened before and now. Now you can see these two connected paths for 30.0 and 10.0.0.0. Yeah, okay. Can we pin the other device? Let's say. Okay, what happened? It get reply. Okay, we pinned 10.2, but we get reply from 30.1 destination host unreachable. What it means is when we pin from here to here, it reached, but when we send the echo reply from here to here, it can't work. The reason is we haven't set the static route between these two devices. So we need to configure that. Okay, so we need to try this. What we should do is this. Okay, so we need to configure a static route for the two switches. Okay, so for this, the switch on the right for VLAN 30, we need to try to set a static route, which will be when we want to reach VLAN 10, it's VLAN 100 actually, we need the IP address for the transient SVI. Which is 10.0.0.1, and At the same time, we need to come here to this switch. Okay, first configure mode, terminal, run the same command, but this is to access VLAN 30 here from this switch. So we need this command to reach 30.0. We need the IP address, which is transit SVI IP address .2. Okay, let's run this. And now we should solve the problem. Still not. Okay. 30.0. Okay. This should be 100.0. Okay, there's some issue here. I need to fix it offline, and I will stop here instead of wasting your time. See you next